Together, we are the Lethal Protector. Hey guys, it's Chris, and in today's video, I'm talking about Venom, There Be CARNAGE. Let's get into it. Venom 2 is the second film in Sony's Spider-Man universe. The film grossed over $500 million at the box office. When I say Venom 2, I essentially just mean Venom, There Be CARNAGE. I figured just say Venom 2 instead of saying the whole title every single time. The film was criticized for being noisy, lackluster, and features a muddled story and dull or boring subplot. Venom 2 does feature a more engaging villain, improved CGI, and more entertaining action sequences. Venom and Carnage make the film a must-watch because of the final battle, plus that post-credit scene. Carnage is a more engaging villain compared to Riot from the first film. Cletus Kasady's love interest is straight from the comic books, Francis Barrison, aka Shriek. Carnage design is faithful and looks good. Carnage has his healing factor, superhuman strength. When Cletus morphs into Carnage, it looks groovy every time. I will say Carnage in the film is very tame. He's very serious compared to the cartoons, and he doesn't laugh once in the film. Carnage in the cartoons, he's always laughing. Even Cletus is always laughing, and he doesn't really do that in the film at all. Fun fact, Carnage is red because when he bonds with Cletus Kasady, he bonds with him through his blood. His tendrils allow him to swing around and transform those tendrils into weapons. These weapons are called solid blood weapons. He essentially uses like spikes for projectiles. He uses like claws, axes, swords. You know, it kind of morphs into the weapon. Carnage can grow several times the size of a regular symbiote. That's why Carnage in the film looks a lot bigger and bulkier compared to Venom. Carnage is the offspring of Venom and is a stronger and more formidable foe compared to Riot. While the CGI for the symbiotes is an improvement over the first film, it's not that much better. Most of the scenes with the symbiotes are at night, and it's easier to hide the second-rate effects. I will say, I think Carnage CGI just looks a little bit more better than Venom CGI. You know, Venom CGI in the first film looked really good, but him in the second one, it just looks alright. I think Carnage's CGI looks a little bit better compared to even like Riot's from the first film. So out of Venom, Riot, and Carnage, the three symbiotes we've seen so far, I think Carnage has the best looking CGI. The action sequences is an improvement compared to the first film. Carnage's introduction and prison escape is menacingly delightful. Carnage grabs a door frame, essentially rips it off, and then it goes quiet, and then he comes out and he's like, rah! I really do like Carnage's introduction. It's not as stylish as Venom's introduction from the first film, but it is cool nonetheless. Carnage kills and impales guards. He throws them into some cells. He grabs one, drops him to the ground as he's like dragging him from the back with one of his tendrils. This other guard shooting at him. He grabs him or lunges right at him, jams his tongue down one of the guard's throat, then just drops and throws a table, slices one guard. Carnage creates a carnage tornado and bites off and eats the warden's head off screen. My only complaint for the prison escape, I just wish there was more blood and more visceral violence. The concept art for this action sequence would have contained more visceral violence, more blood, but unfortunately because of the PG rating, they had to tame it down a lot. That's why I said it. You know, Carnage compared to the cartoons, this version is very tame. Carnage frees Shriek from the Ravencroft Institute. A convoy of cop cars and a helicopter shows up. Carnage throws, smashes, and slices a few cop cars. I like when he used all his tendrils to essentially lift up the 66 Corvette. Don't quote me on that. I don't know my cars. Cletus morphs into Carnage. He's like, ah, the helicopter's like beam or light is shining on him. He grabs one cop car, throws into the building. I like when he grabs these other two and just smashes them together. Grabs this other one, lifts it up, slices it right down the middle. Shriek uses her sound manipulation to destroy the first helicopter. She does that again, I'll eat her face. Carnage destroys a second helicopter by using one of his tendrils. You know, they're driving away, Shriek's driving, Cletus is in the passenger seat, the tendril comes out, literally jams right through the front of the helicopter, it falls behind him and explodes. One of the blade goes flying at him and they just drive off. Carnage learns after this sequence, Shriek can hurt him, and he doesn't really like her that much. Venom and Carnage and Shriek battle at the Cathedral Church. Cletus just wants to get married to Shriek, and essentially the final battle is at a church. This action sequence is roughly over 9 minutes long. Oh shit, that's a red one. Carnage has captured Annie and Patrick Mulligan. Carnage sends Shriek to deal with Patrick as he tries to escape. Is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick! Both symbiotes clash at each other. They throw punches. They're both just smashing into the walls, the pillars, and the scaffolding. Carnage uses different weapons against Venom, mostly the spiked projectiles. Carnage overpowers Venom pretty quickly. Carnage is just too strong for Venom. Not even the bell tower can stop Eddie and Cletus from fighting. Eddie and Cletus do have a brief chat without the symbiotes active. More like Cletus tries to get behind Eddie and just put a bag over his face, tries to suffocate him or something. Bag or some wrap something. And then he grabs a hammer and just starts hitting Eddie with it. Shriek presumably kills Patrick by impaling him on a metal rod. His eyes glow blue. This has indicated he's already bonded with the symbiote. I believe this symbiote is toxic, and he'll most likely make an appearance in Venom: The Last Dance. Now, we have seen Patrick Mulligan in Venom 3 trailer, so I believe that this kind of just teased that he's already bonded with the symbiote. Carnage climbs atop of the bell tower and tries to eat Annie. Venom stops Carnage, but is almost killed. Carnage says my favorite quote and the title of the movie: "Let there be carnage." Venom realizes they need fire or sound to defeat Carnage. Venom whips Shriek into the bell. Just whips her right into the bell. As Shriek falls to her death, she screams into the bell, causing a massive sound blast. The bell proceeds to crush Shriek. The massive sound blast hurts Carnage and Venom, and then they proceed to fall to the ground. Carnage tries to rebond with Cletus, but is stopped by Venom. Venom eats the Carnage symbiote. He did not taste good. I bet. I bet. The Carnage symbiote, I'm assuming, probably doesn't taste the best. It's not like chocolate or tater tots Venom. Like, come on. Or brains. It's not like mushy brains. It's an actual symbiote. It's all slimy and gross. Cletus Kasady tells Eddie he just wanted his friendship. Imagine being like a serial killer in the comic books and the cartoons, and you bond with the Carnage symbiote and you become literally a serial killer with a symbiote, and then you tell Eddie Brock, I just wanted your friendship. That's why I said that Cletus Kasady and Carnage, they definitely toned him down compared to the cartoons. He's very tame in this film. Fuck this guy, says Venom. Venom bites off and eats Cletus's head. Venom 2 embraces the franchise's sillier side. Some of the comedy does not land all the time. Carnage eating the priest for a power-up, now that was funny. Power-up! But Venom doesn't belong at a rave. I just hated that scene. A lot of people I notice on Twitter like it, but I don't think that scene is funny at all. The film does have some thrilling action sequences. The improved CGI is more appealing to the eyes. The final battle shows why these characters' rivalry is so important. When they fight, it's fun, comedic, and straight up staggering. It's exactly what fans are looking for when these two juggernaut symbiotes fight. Venom 2 features a must-see post-credit scene. Eddie and Venom are transported to the MCU, and they see Tom Holland's Spider-Man from Far From Home. Venom would have never arrived in the MCU if it wasn't for this post-credit scene. So in Venom 2, he transports to the MCU, and then in the Spider-Man No Way Home's post-credit scene, he transports back to his universe. And because of that, he leaves behind a piece of the symbiote, which we learn from Spider-Man No Way Home's post-credit scene. I believe that the piece of the symbiote is still in the MCU, regardless what the Venom 3 trailer wants you to believe. I'm Spider-ManChris, and I'll see you in the next one.